right. Okay. So let me see. Let me try to. Okay. Hello, hello. Is anyone there? Okay, I see 2 on the chat. So let me see. Hello, shalom. Say hi if you can see me. My people are here. Yay. Greetings. Let me try to connect for some strange reasons. Come on in, come on in. We're having our first live. The first royal conference is live. Thank you. I look gorgeous for my royals. You know, I have to represent. Greeting Isadora, greeting Maury. Hello, hello, hello. Let me see. So let's give it a few more minutes. Exactly, we have 9 on the chat. We have 9 on the chat. All right, there we go. Hello, 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 my people. Mbotenayo, warm greetings. This is your queen, Queen Ngningone II. I'm so happy to see you on the chat. We have 11 people on the chat. All right, so share this broadcast. We're about to go live for the very first time. The coast is now clear. Hello, hello, hello. All right, my dear royals of Africa, let's start. So, can you hear me? If you can hear me, put a thumbs up. I'm new to this. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Awesome. All right, my people. Mbotenayo, warm greetings from your queen. This is Queen Ngningone II. So today we're having our first live, all right? we will continue our series on wearing our crowns. Okay, so by the way, today's look is inspired by our Zulu queens. All right, because you know our Zulu queens, when it comes to accessories, they don't play. All right, all our African queens, I mean, when we pull it out, we do. So this is a bucket hat. Is typical. This is a creation of our Zulu queens. So I want our Zulu queens to know that their daughter and queen in America is promoting our fashion. All right. So this piece as well, same thing with the earrings. Okay. So today we will talk about protecting your own when it comes to wearing our crown and what we should expect. All right. Protecting your own is on many levels. All right. Please don't be stuck in thinking that only the declare activists, have the responsibility to do all these things to better the community. In fact, us growing up, they told us that we should all be activists at our level, wherever we are, whatever we do, whenever we see oppression, we have to stop it. We have to step up to it and say, no, it's not okay. All right. So I know that many of you have heard the story that our own fathers sold us. So today I'm going to share a personal story as usual. My life experience must have happened for a reason, so I can, enlighten our brothers and sisters out there, so I can enlighten our children. Okay? So basically, I told you that my dad was a diplomat, right? He was an ambassador, so we traveled. And the area he was focused on is where they had the most of our people. And I know the choice for South America was on purpose because that's where, they had the most of our people. So in Venezuela, everything was well. Venezuela, it's a country really I grew to love. They treated us with a lot of respect. They have a whole different culture there. All right, we'll get in the case of Venezuela, very peaceful. Uruguay, Colombia, Brazil, and stuff. But when my dad went to Argentina, we had a home invasion. All right. So as I told you, my dad wasn't just a diplomat. He wasn't just an ambassador. Basically, he wouldn't serve in countries where it was bluntly obvious that they're mistreating our people the worst. Okay, excuse me, I need to get this dog out. Okay, give your queen a second. Nice. All right, my royals. So basically, when we moved to Argentina, now as many of you probably know, Argentina is a country that is Nazi friendly. All right. So meaning after the fall of the Nazi regime, Argentina was one of the countries that welcomed a lot of Nazi that wanted to escape the persecution, the Nazi who wanted to escape the Nuremberg trials and everything. So they found sick people in Argentina and Brazil to hide them. All right. So when my dad now mission was in Argentina, same thing. After the introduction of his letter of mission, he will inquire on our people. Where do you have our people? located here, because for some strange reasons, they always put away in a kind of ghetto, in a kind of slum, everywhere we landed. So, and we went and visit them at the Plaza, all this, you know, and Distrito de la Boca. But the thing was that they were extremely poor. And then my dad started digging into their history. I mean, we found out that they used our people to fight against Spanish, and then afterward they massacred a whole lot of them. It was now time to cleanse. The Negroes had to go. And they were always, you know, living in places with, you know, barely access to water. You will have, you know, a whole town with only one kind of, it's not even a hospital, like a little nursery where people can take, you know, people if they're injured and stuff. They were lacking of everything. So that situation clearly enraged my dad. So he started inquiring with Libreville, with the presidency in Gabon. Thank you. I'm looking pretty for my royals. So basically, he asked the foreign affairs in Gabon that who entered into a trade deal with these people. Argentinians are extremely racist. Have you seen how they have our people over here? Who entered into that deal? So my dad also started bringing that to the Minister of Interior, like, look at your African citizen, how they live. So to cut a long story short, my dad had upset a few people over there, and they started like getting uncomfortable with this ambassador who would get involved into local matters. But my dad wasn't just an ambassador, he was also an activist. He had clear love, right, for his people. So basically, he started telling the president, we need to review the terms of the trade with these people, because back then Argentina was buying timber from Gabon, and Gabon was buying meat from them, because I mean they have premium meat, cow meat and stuff like that. So my dad started growing annoyed. Before you know it, we had a home invasion. So one day, shortly before traveling, it was summer, we were supposed to go and spend that summer vacation to France. We were scheduled to travel the next day when that happened. So we were home and stuff, and my mom was running her last errands and everything. So we were in the kitchen with our cook, because everywhere we went, we took our staff, the personal staff, like the cooks were always from Gabon, the nannies were always from Gabon, my mom's assistant was always from Gabon, but the rest we will hire locally. The drivers, the gardeners, the maids, you know, stuff like that. So that day, our security norm was 2 armed dogs. No, 2 armed guards with 2 dogs around the clock, right? And that day, the guys who were watching the gate basically took off. They took off, left the big gate open. So we were just in the kitchen snacking. 2 young guys just walked in through the back door, through the kitchen door. And they introduced themselves. They were like, oh, we here. This is a home invasion. Where is the ambassador? I mean, they came looking for him by title. And then the cook, basically they laid us on the floor. We had to lay on the floor. They had us at gunpoint. And the cook told them that the ambassador is not here. So there was one crazy one. He's like, no, our informant told us that he's in, that they just drop him off. So basically they had an informant, they had informants within our staff, because Argentinians are very, very racist. Even the poorest of them, I'm not saying maybe not all of them, but it's a country I wish we never went to. Even if you found them eating trash, but they see a black face, they feel justified to spit on your face. Kind of nonsense, you see? So they were jealous. I mean, we were living like kings. They're like, who are these Negroes? Because they used to just insult Negro. Argentina is one country and the other one is Ecuador. These fools over there, they will make songs insulting black people and play it on the radio around the clock, right? So they saw our wealth. You know, my dad being of the tribe of the elephant. So we always, you know, drag around these tall elephant tusks that were passed down to him. Is like generation after generation. Like wherever we live, we have to have something of elephant. So they were impressed by stuff like that. They were impressed by my mom jewelries and stuff. So they knew everything. They knew there was a safe in the house. They knew my father had gone to the bank that day. They knew everything. They basically came. And the cook said, well, the ambassador is not here. The informant said, yes. One of them said, no, our informant told us that he's already in. So one was holding us downstairs. The other one said, I'm going upstairs to find him. And they point my little sister, the last born back then, she was seven. So one of them told my sister, take us to your father's room, you know. And the cook told my sister in our language, take him to any room, don't take him to your father's room. So my sister, sure enough, at gunpoint, she took him to one of the guest rooms upstairs. So the guy came back and he told his friend, no, I couldn't, he's not there. The friend got really agitated. He said, no, our informant said he's in. So I go and get him. So they switched. The one who was holding us downstairs, you know, went upstairs. He started opening up all the room. And Gabon had purchased a very impressive mansion there. The house was big. It had like 3 levels. We had like an elevator. And in the basement, it was like a whole kind of nightclub. I think the former owners, they were probably like some mafia people, because the basement had a casino. You could see the tables there and everything. And there was a tunnel from the master bedroom, underground tunnel, which could lead to the beach. So when Gabon purchased that property from Argentinian government, I'm sure it's a property they took from one of these drug lords or mafia guy. It was impressive. So anyway, my dad, although he was a gun collector, my dad loved collecting guns, because he told us that had our people had those, many of them, it would have been a game changer. So he collects them. And basically, my dad was just laying on the bed. We were waiting for my mom to get home for us to have dinner. So he walked in and he's like, okay, this is a home invasion. I want the money you went and got to the bank today. I want you to open your safe. I need all your wives or your wife stones and everything. My dad was okay. Where are my kids? He told my dad, my friend has them downstairs. My father was okay. I tell you what, I let you have whatever you want, but what I want your friend to bring all my kids in this room. I want them all accounted for. So the guy was like, no, he's the one with the gun, he's the one calling the shot. My father said, okay, then you won't live here, alive either until I see my kids. So my father jumped him and turned his gun against him and shot him 2 times. So when the one that was holding us downstairs heard his friend scream, he took off, he rushed in and went upstairs and shot my dad 4 times. And then he took off, vámonos, vámonos. He was like, let's go, let's go. He started dragging his friend. So his friend couldn't, he couldn't have the time to get anything because the deal was bring my children upstairs and then I gave you whatever you want. So basically, they took off in a motorcycle. There was just a sea of blood because he got hit 2 times. They took off running. So we just heard my dad screaming our names. So we rushed upstairs and Papa was in a sea of blood. He had the femoral artery bust open. So the cook started taking the towels, to put a pressure, compress it so it won't bleed to death. And our neighbor to the right, to the immediate right, was the U.S. ambassador because it was like a neighborhood where diplomats were living. So the U.S. ambassador, Mr. Reynolds, rest in peace if you're no longer of this world, and may all your lineage be blessed and protected. That guy heard the gunshots. He jumped. He showed up to our property because he had a wife who used to speak French with us. He had a wife called Miss Katie. She was French-Canadian. I think they had a son called Brian. Their children attended the Lincoln School in Argentina, and we attended the French school in Buenos Aires. And all these foreign people's schools were on the same street. So you had the French school, you had the German school, you had the American school and so forth. The Italian had their school too. So she used to speak French to us. So him and his security came and he's like, we heard gunshot, what's happening? And then my sister told them, it's Papa, he got hit. We had a home invasion. He went to my father's room. He looked at my dad. They used to call each other Your Excellency. He looked at my dad, he said, Your Excellency, I gotta take you. We can't wait for an ambulance. So he told his security to bring the car. They load my dad up in the car. The femoral artery was busted. I mean, my dad started complaining that he's cold. And he was telling my dad, no, Your Excellency, we gonna make it. So in his car and with his security, they headed to the German hospital straight up. Now, for those who live in the Houston area, the distance between where the diplomat were living and where the German hospital was, it was like living downtown Houston using Westheimer, and that you're trying to go to Highway 6, right? Thank you. And you're trying to go to Highway 6. So basically it's a long distance, and that El Libertador, there was a particularity about that big avenue. There were a lot of lights, and those lights were not synchronized. So it was a pain to go through El Libertador. You almost have to stop at every other light. It was nerve-wracking. But Mr. Reynolds told us that on his way to the hospital, it was the first time in Buenos Aires he saw the lights on El Libertador, all green. He said it was a miracle. It was a straight shot to the German hospital. They were not in an ambulance or anything. They were in the ambassador's car, the U.S. ambassador's car, heading to the German hospital, right? And then when they get to the German hospital, he started making noise. He's like somebody came in our neighborhood and tried to kill one of us. And we can't have that. So even before the Gabonese authority got involved, he was making noise around. He reached out to the Foreign Affairs for explanation. So by the time Gabon asked for explanation to the Foreign Affairs, the guy was all over it. So they put my father on the floor. It was the 8th floor in the German hospital. They emptied the entire floor. Only at that point, the Foreign Affairs sent security to guard the hospital. Nobody could go to the 8th floor and stuff like that. And then they brought the stupid camera, the press, everybody was around our property. We were like, what just happened? Right? So now we were afraid. Papa lost so much blood. The news had already gone to Gabon that Papa had died. So my sisters who were going to school in France, they watched it on the news that they gunned down the Gabonese ambassador in Buenos Aires. So they were like, no way, Papa's dead. Everybody was calling us. About 2 days after, but the German hospital, they said that he was in a coma. They said he's in a coma, he like critical, I don't know how many liters of blood he lost. So they were that he's a miracle, he made it alive. So basically, you know, long story short, Gabon sent a delegation. The people from the Foreign Affairs Gabon showed up. They said they're here to take the body home and the family. My mom was like, my husband is not dead. We didn't come to die. We came to work. And the promise the ancestors and God made to us is that we will go back standing. My husband is not dead. So Papa stayed in the coma for 7 days. So for 7 days, we didn't know if he was going to make it until he woke up, right? So all that was made possible because the neighbor next door, who was the U.S. ambassador, Mr. Reynolds, I don't know if he's still living, but I want him to know that that gesture alone spared, because I told you we're a big family. You know, that gesture alone spared a father of 15 from dying. So my dad lived long enough, okay? He lived long enough to see all of us off to marriage until, you know, he passed. So wherever he is, I want him to know that he's divinely blessed and protected just for that. The people who escorted him that day to the hospital as he was driving my dad there are forever working with him and his entire lineage. This is to bring it back to us to let you know that, my dear people, we don't come from cowards who will give away their children, who would sell their children for whatever money. Okay? So anybody telling you that what I saw my father do in Argentina in 1993, you know, what I saw my father do there, that's what our kings did when it came to us. So in healing, we have to understand that some people who wanted everything we have wage war on us, right? And they use whatever they use. They use tricks, they use lies, they use manipulation, they use guns, they use cannons, they use all the things they use to wage war on us. Nevertheless, we are still the bravest men and women God put on earth. Okay? So just to bring it back to us, in the description box below, all right? For those of us out there with platform, I want to draw your attention on a son of ours. Now, his story is kind of fading away, maybe because he's not a celebrity. His name is Grandmaster J. I think I put the information on the description box. I don't know how it works with this thing. But I put the link, I will add the link after I'm done streaming this live. For people back at home to start walking. So they have one of our most valuable sons. He's known by the name of Grandmaster J. During the Trump era, they were hunting us down the street. They were terrorizing us. They were killing us at will. That son of ours decided to form a militia because the Constitution here gives us that right to arm ourselves and protect ourselves just like any other citizen. It gives them the right to form militia if necessary. That son of ours took it upon himself to form a militia to send the message that these people you're trying to slaughter like animals, they have people protecting them too. They have people standing up for them too. And so they cooked up some charges. They accused him of having pointed a gun at federal agents. Now, if you're familiar about the Wahala, we have, key slang words. Wahala is just chaos. When someone want to bring chaos in your life, tell them, don't bring your Wahala around me. So the kind of Wahala we deal with over here is like, the laws are not really for everybody. When it comes to apply the law as it should, they took away everything our people brought. Those at home, the guardians of our people, I'm discussing it because I want you guys to get a hold of that. I will put the link about his story. You cannot allow them to take him from us. Do what you know how to do. Get that papa out. We need him home with his family. He didn't do anything. None of them do here. The people who show up to Charlottesville, they show up with guns. They went and branded gun at federal officers and stuff. None of them is in jail. None of them is scheduled to be put away. Now, when it comes to our son, he's facing up to 20 years in jail. And you know how they do us over here. So to all the guardians of our people back at home, get on that story fast. He pleaded not guilty, and not guilty he shall be found. Okay? We have to protect our own. We can't just talk about the famous people, that this and that. Me, the people who catch my attention are the people like him. He did what my father did in Buenos Aires in 1993. He did what our ancestors, our kings did when they came for us. Okay? So all of you, lift him up in your prayers. Bring up his story. Those with big platform, have them talk about him. I don't care what they accuse him of. It's funny, when one of us is having difficulties, it's always the same ones. Our own people will come and start spitting, oh, he's an agent, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. All I saw is a man who took it upon himself to protect his own. And he can't go forgotten. Okay? I will, when I post the streaming, I will post the link to his story. So this is to bring it back to tell you, to my beautiful royals. If somebody tells you that your father or your mother sold you, it's a way of disarming you, like you have to give up that fight. Because even if you start fighting them, you still have no home to go back to. You still bound to see their faces here. You still bound. That's one of the reasons they told you all that. So I want you guys to reprogram your mind. Lies are a weapon of war. Divisions are a weapon of war. So are their tanks, so are their guns, so are their everything. Okay? So in wearing our crowns, we have to protect our own. Wherever you go, you see one of us in distress for whatever, even at the register, you see a brother or sister, he's stuck, he's a few dollars short. You, your brother, you, his brother, or you, his sister standing there, go and wipe that shame out of his face. Go there and get involved. How much you short? Okay, you tell the cashier, I get that. You help them. That's how it works. Okay? We have to protect our own at all times. That's the only way we send a clear message to those fools trying to play with us, that you don't stand a chance. If you slap and you have slapped me, you have slapped him, and we'll jump you like the fun people. We ask questions last. Okay? So on today's stream, I also will feature some of our people, those of our daughters and sons who are out there. All right, let me give you a little what we call aperçu. So okay, here one of our beautiful daughters reach out. Okay, I will post the link. I don't know how this whole thing, I'm still new, and you know, when your brother is not here, my son, I kind of get lost in figuring things out. But the thing is, like last night, we just were not being given access to stream. But you know, we did what we needed to do, contacted who we needed to contact, and today is just open. So we're gonna have many of those, okay? So there's one of our beautiful daughter. Okay, her name is NJAII Bay. She created a beautiful platform talking about us, talking about our history, talking about everything that is great, fabulous about us. And that platform is a spiritual garden. This is how our daughter described it, and I visited it. It's beautiful. I will post the link in the description box under the stream, okay? It's a spiritual garden she calls Woman for Woman. Okay, it's femhub.com. I will put the link. It's beautiful. So go and visit, you know, give love to her and stuff. There's a sister channel also I would like you guys to go and subscribe to. It's Zola Bantu. They send, they share content, they share our content, and we share their content. They send a series of very informative teachings about the role of the woman, the Bantu woman. It's long, so I will kind of try to break it in parts because I know our people. The attention span is very tiny. So I will try to cut it in parts, right? So I'll be able to post it and add commentary and everything. Very, very informative videos. You know, our people back at home, like I say, I've always been cheering you guys up. You know, we never forgot about those that took from us. We never did. I remember even growing up, my dad has always been a big fan of it, whatever was happening here. I remember when they had the LA riot, my father wasn't sleeping. You know, we always had access to that rubbish broadcasting network, also known as CNN. Okay, yes, I said it's a rubbish broadcasting network. Don't support them, don't follow them, because they are our worst enemy. Whomever they decide to kill, CNN will be the one they use to pour venom, to polarize lies against our leaders. They're the one that give the microphone to make our fathers who are there defending us look like terrorists. But and yet CNN was the only network that will kind of give us an eye to what is happening, because we always want to know. We always wanted to know what was happening. So when we were in mission in Venezuela, Papa watched the LA riots. He wasn't sleeping. He was boiling. It's like, what do they expect? It will come a time our children will rise. What do they expect? How can they keep on treating them like that and expect they will just be docile and just lie and lay down for them to slaughter them? My dad was following all these events, and he was a big fan of Mike Tyson. When Tyson came up and stuff, I used to watch boxing with my dad. He's like, Mama, your man is fighting because I found Tyson to be cute before Robin. So he will wake me up. Mama, your guy is fighting, because they will air the fight at a very, very, late hour. And I'll be there like, oh gosh, the fight was Spinks. That was like a few minutes, he knocked him out and stuff like that. I remember that we were in Gabon and we watched it. So he was always tuning in, keeping an inquiring eye on what are they doing to our children over there. And so just know, and even, you just have to cleanse, detox, just like I told them in the Dear White People video. They have to detox from the lies they were told. Our Father's mission on earth was to teach everybody that we are one before our Creator, before His creation. We should be all one with the humans, the half humans, and the animals. We are all one. But they didn't want that kind of agenda. They wanted to create a world where they position themselves as superior being, even inserted themselves in our divinity. All right? So they had to make Jesus. Why they had to? Because if the truth comes out about Jesus being black, because he was black, okay, the person we come from, we're all black. Abraham, we are descendant of Sem. Sem was black. This is one thing they don't, but how can a guy who's white have one of the children come out black? These are the kind of stupid, lies they push out there. That like I have my children, I reproduce myself with my kind. Now tell me this, one of them gonna come out white. But that's the story they have, that one of Noah's son was black. The kind of nonsense that don't even make sense. Yes, they all were black. They all were. Okay? So you have to understand that a lot of lies were used. They need to detox. They need to get it out of their system. They are superior to God, to nobody. And they are nobody's master. So it's just like us. We need to detox from that inferiority complex. We need to detox from overgiving to them. Undeserving people, we give them our time, we give them our smile, we give them our energy, and so on. You will see like some of them when they're in trouble. Some of our people are programmed to rush to their rescue. We need to detox from that mentality. We are nobody's slave, okay? We are nobody's slave. Let me repeat that. We were enslaved kings. Enslaved kings. But we are nobody's slave. We are nobody's buffer. We are nobody's pushover, okay? So you need to heal. You need to heal it, and learning that we are amazing human beings. I mean, God bless us with so much. We just need to dust off. Our past cannot define our future. That's why it's important we learn our own history told by us. Okay? So that was pretty much for today's stream. Okay? We come from culture. We come from ancestries of warrior, people who don't back down to anything. We are loving, we are peaceful. I told you guys that the Ntanganese, we will call them like that, the Ntanganese, those you know as Muzungus. Let me add more words to your vocabulary, okay, my people? The Ntanganese, they have that superiority complex, but deep down they know that they fall short on many things. We are the earth element of God's creation. They are air, nothing tangible, smokes and mirror. That's why they master the manipulation, just like you saw in South Africa. If you're not careful, they get in your brain, they get in your spirit. They will manipulate you to bear weapons against your own people, claiming they love you more. Right? After Mandela came out to jail, Mama Winnie Mandela was like, no way, we're taking this to the final. What did they do? They find the letter Winnie Mandela had written to her lover, you know. So, and that alone hurt Mandela's ego to the point that he fed them Winnie. So that's why I'm not too big on Madiba. Yes, he sat in jail for us. Yes, he took beating for us, but he should have continued. So they soften him, they touch him to the ego. Look, this is her telling her lover, I love you, blah, blah, blah. What did he expect? Why do we even know him? Because unlike other women, the other activist women got out. They got out of the country. They ran to safety. They got asylum left, right. Winnie stayed on the field. She made sure the name of her husband is brought up in front of the world. She made sure nobody forgets about him in jail. All right? When they arrested Mandela, he was with other guys. Do we know their names? No. Because we never seen their wives. Their wives never been out there reminding, my husband is in jail. He left her a girl. She was a young girl, 20-something years old, with 2 kids. Who was going to watch her back? She was fighting in a field with men. She got arrested, God knows how many times, tortured. Who was going to watch her back? Right? But she didn't divorce him while he was in jail. So you have to be careful with those Ntanganese trickery, or they get in your brain at the deep level. Okay? So as we go, you know, we have to learn from the mistake of our elders. So the minute he came out, Mama Winnie was like, Amanla, those who massacred our children, they killed like over 800 South African kids, because after they had most of our fathers and mothers thrown in jail and some of them killed, what happened next? The kids took to the street. They were trying to ban English as a language and force the African, whatever they call African. They claim they have a language called African. They were trying to impose that on our people. Our children took to the street. That you kill our fathers, you kill our mothers, you incarcerate them, but you're going to have us to deal with. They started burning the schools. And she was demanding justice for that. How can Black Lives Matter? They killed that many Black children, and none of them is sitting in jail for that. These are the things Mama Winnie was trying to push, and they brought her lovers. They brought her lovers letter. Look what she was doing, and it worked. She was stripped away from every honor. The day of his inauguration, I cried. I'm like, this is how life is. Who would have even known about him without this woman? Took another woman, God knows where they brought him, that woman from, came and sat her next to him. And she's the one who lived that dream of the first African, Black, South African First Lady. And it's not over. I remember Gabon was in the effort of liberating South Africa. Our then president, Omar Bongo, that was the first country Mandela visited after when he became president, when he came out. No, when he came out, he visited Gabon first. Our president set up a radio station called Africa Numero 1, Africa number 1. And that radio station helped in the communication among the resistance. The people that tell you are your enemies today is because those people helped us. Cuba, Fidel Castro of Cuba, he sent money, he sent weapons, he sent men to help, to train all these people. They call that they're evil, they this, they that, right? But us, the new generation, we shouldn't be forgetful of those who stick their neck out for us. We shouldn't get involved, get manipulated to the point you go and bear weapons for those of our sons who are in the military. You go and bear weapons for somebody who shed blood for your people. It's an abomination. So be careful with the brainwashing. Okay, my people? So let's walk away with this. In wearing our crown, we have to protect our own. I remember working at this corporation and stuff. When they heard my accent, one of these white girls, she came one day at the break room, she said, you know, these African American, you know, they're kind of loud, they're very ghetto and stuff like that. And I just looked at her, I'm like, it's because of what you put them through. He said, what did we put them through? Oh, my father told me that their own people sold them. I'm like, well, your father must be a very stupid man, because my father told me that they stole them from us. And it's by force. Over their dead body, they took our people. Do you know that that girl never talked to me? In fact, she was trying to get me fired. She started going in cahoots with the VP secretary who was her bestie. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here for you to get that pleasure. I quitted that job. So you have to protect your own. Even a slight comment, something make a sick comment, check them. They say, oh, who told you that? And they're very stupid, eh? Because what I was taught and the evidence, that the remaining evidence says otherwise. Okay, check them. If they talk stupid, no, they say that their own people. Tell them what we say. Your papa na ye. Okay? Papa na yo. When we want to insult your father, we just tell you, Papa na yo is your father. He's the stupid one. Or we say, Mama na yo, your mother. All right, my people. So we're going to wrap up. I'm going to be today live on Pan-African Daily TV with our beautiful and gorgeous sister, Queen Dr. Tata. Okay? So please, let's do this. Let's get well in our mind, in our head, because can nobody mess with strong people. When you heal and become strong, right? Can nobody mess with you? Can nobody push you around? Can nobody, walk you into a dish? Can nobody, brainwash you whatsoever? Okay? So stay strong, stay beautiful. Okay, let's do everything in peace, love, and harmony. Now, let me touch a little bit on our royal mail. I received mail from beautiful royals out there. So let me give a few shout outs. So I have a beautiful, beautiful sister. She told me she's an elder. I'm still your queen. You are still the daughter of our land. She's beautiful. She sent me prayer. Miss Linnell, I received your message and thank you so much as you protect me our people protect you. We are one, not two, not three, not four, just one. Okay, thank you. It goes to my heart. We have also a son who contacted us from, let me find, from the country known as South Africa, right? He asked me, what does Ngningone means? Okay. Ngningone is the most beautiful girl in the land. That's the one the Fang people will name Ngningone. The most beautiful girl in the land. So much so Ngningone is very popular among the Fang people. Like my Ngningone, I got it from my father's mom. She was called Ngningone. And my mom, Ngningone happened to be her name too. So you see, and my kids, I have a Ngningone among them too, that, you know, one of my daughter named after my late mother. So Ngningone means the most beautiful girl in the land. All right? All right. So we have our son, Samuel Kenyi. Thank you for contacting us. You know, I will be getting back to you. He's offering assistance in marketing and IT, right? Same thing with our daughter, Linnell. So I'm receiving offer for help, and I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you to our beautiful royals out there. Okay, so shout out to all our people. Let me see, Andre contacted me, and he told me that he could lend his voice to the video we have coming, announcing the teachings on our Bantu spirituality. So thank you, Papa. Thank you. All of you offering your services. I thank you, and remain blessed and divinely protected. So we will wrap it up. So any question? Does anybody has any question I could quickly answer before we go? I see we have 66 people on the chat. We only have 45 likes. My royal, we need the thumb ups. We need 65 likes. Don't be an energy vampire. All right? This is simple as it, you know, simple. You give, you receive. You bless, you get blessed. That's how it works. A queen like me, trust and believe. Any gesture of kindness, of love, or whatever you bless me with is accounted for, is multiplied. Anything you do to your fellow sister, your fellow brother, even if he doesn't say thank you, don't mind him. His people on the other side have taken note. Sometimes you may even be facing a challenge. They would dispatch one of their fallen ones to come and rescue you because of something you have done to their ungrateful one. That's how it works. Our spirituality is loaded. So we need, with that, we need to cherish one another. We can be out there betraying one another, backstabbing one another, forming clans and stuff. The only reason our people form clans in the past, we form clans to make sure we never cross blood. When you see in their books, oh, so and so married the sister, it's not us. Bantu people never practice incest under any circumstances, because they practice incest to protect their so-called wealth, to protect whatever. So they have in books stories talking about, oh, so and so married the sister. It's not true. The same creator that created man created woman. He didn't create a woman from the man. This is part of their scheme to quiet women, to render them useless, because if they're going to position themselves as superior, they have to position the female of their kind as inferior. They have to tell her she came from his rib or whatever nonsense, as if our creator is incapable. As he created man, he created woman. He never ran out of supply. He never ran out of creativity. None of that. Okay, we never practice incest. So that's why they created clans, to make sure that we never cross blood. Okay, they created clan to make sure we never cross blood. Like, for example, on my father's side, I'm of the elephant. So when they scattered us, our people, wherever they landed, they reinvented themselves, they renamed themselves something. So my father told me, if you meet a guy and he's Fang, he tell you that he's Fang or Ewondo or Betty or Bulu, all these names our tribe adopted, to ask them from which clan. If he tells you he's from the elephant, the clan of the elephant, whether on the paternal or on the maternal, it's a definite no-go. This is how serious we are about our bloodlines, that we don't cross blood. We don't do that nonsense. It's abomination before our creator. Okay? So if I meet a guy who's from wherever, and like, for example, in Equatorial Guinea, you know, in Gabon, we call us the tribe of the elephant on my paternal side. All right? And on my mom is these people, the leopard, the royals. That's who we rock with. This is our pet. All right? So if the guy from Equatorial Guinea tells me he's Fang, we speak the same language, right? And I always ask them, what is your clan on both sides, paternal and maternal? Well, if they tell me, oh, the paternal is Esangi, no, Esandon. Esandon in Equatorial Guinea are our people, the elephant. I don't care how many generations are between us. I'll be like, you my brother. No, you can't look at me like that. This is what our parents tell us, to ensure that we never cross blood. That was the only reason, you know, the creator led us to create clans, so we never cross blood. First degree, second degree, no. These people marry first cousin. Some Ethiopian who call us Bantu people ugly. Some of them call us monkey. Not all. They have some Ethiopian. I was on a live stream on one stupid Latino. I mean, I got verbally assaulted. These Dominicans, they're so lost. They were like, yeah, they are Spaniard, they're more Spaniard or whatever. I'm like, my bad. That's why you will not see me include anything like, you know, Dominican, blah, blah. I know we still have kids there. But for those of our kids, please reach out to us, because it's not an area I will personally market. All right? Some of our people take pleasure in the horrific things that happened to our ancestors, as rape. We know how these mixed kids came about. They were not product of love. But some of our kids, they put that ancestry first, if I can dare call it like that. They put that rape blood first, or they put their nice hair, or they have nice hair, and they breed accordingly. No, we don't breed according to that. Okay? So basically, you have to come back to really accepting and embracing who you are. The creator didn't lead us to create clan to divide us. It was just to make sure that we never cross blood. It's abomination. We don't do that where we're from. Okay? Unity is key for the survival of a people. We are not hateful. We are not envious. I know that a lot of people are going around saying a lot of things about Chinese, but Stay away from the propaganda. All the horrible deals you hear about Chinese back at home are the leaders permitting it. When I was in Gabon, Chinese were there. They built a beautiful embassy and stuff. But the leader we had, no, he was not allowing just whomever to come and do whatever. Currently, for example, in Equatorial Guinea, we have a Fang president. As I told you, our people are uncompromising to nonsense. Do you think if they let them run around, like they had few contracts, construction contracts there, and they started stealing the mineral. So they will steal the mineral and put it in a coffin and tell the people that they're shipping the body at home. One of their men died. Because another thing, when they get markets and stuff, they bring their people to work, which no African leader should ever allow. If you give people work on your land, they should utilize the local work, the local labor, right? But it wasn't always the case. So they will ship minerals out of the country. They load it in coffin and stuff. Do you know that when the Equatorial Guinea president found out, you know what he did? He taxed them. He did a recount of everything and had them pay for those minerals they stole. And ever since, any coffin that leaves their country, they open it. It's leadership. It's the leadership. Just like I told you, a puppet king would do whatever he wants. He didn't swear an oath, right? These are the most dangerous people. That puppet king didn't swear an oath. So he's a thief occupying a seat that is not his. So the way things are done will not be respected. But a true leader, somebody God and the ancestor gave the leadership, the anointing of leadership, will never embezzle money. Will never embezzle his money or sell his country to foreigners. Never. What I would like you to do is to take away from that jealousy and envy. Their jealousy and envy led them to invade us. If some of you come across Chinese, I have a friend, we were in Taekwondo together, little Chinese lady. She's a very, very good friend. You know, I would ask questions, how come this, how come that? If you come across a Chinese with whom you can have a conversation, ask them questions such as, how did your people do to discipline over 1 billion person? Try to learn from the people who have succeeded in doing something great. Try to learn from the people who have made it to the destination you're trying to go. Don't do jealousy, don't do envy. Whatever is happening to us are things we are allowing. Don't hate anybody. As your queen, I can never teach you hatred. I can never do such thing. I will teach you to love ourselves. I will teach you to love everybody. But be prepared for anybody who will try to cross you and treat you like a slave and treat you like you don't matter. You fight them with all you got. You fight them like the god or the goddess you are, and you let them be, and you move on with a pure heart, pure intention. This is how we remain unbeatable when we remain in that state. Ask questions. What I want to ask to the Chinese queens, what did you do to discipline 1 million people? Maybe I can learn from you. That's what I want to know. Don't be out there hating people. They will tell you, oh, the Russian, or the enemy. Those of our sons in the military, you're going to go and bear weapons if they push you because they give you a check against people. The only crown in Europe who oppose slavery. The Russian Tsar was like, no way. God revealed to us that these people are people. They are not who you say they are, that they're soulless and everything. You wonder why they wipe him out. They wipe that legacy out. The same people who paid for our enslavement, wipe them out. Don't fall into the propaganda, calling just anybody enemy, calling just, this is not only ignorance and it's not royal-like. Okay, my people. So we're going to wrap it up. I love you very much. We will continue having these lives, okay? I think it's less work for me. I think we all can agree. So every day I will try to connect as much as I can at 10 Central Standard Time. Tell our sons, tell our daughters, tell everybody this is competition free. This is the home of the African royals. All we do here is have royal conferences. No hatred, no jealousy. We don't want anybody growing jealous of us, so we won't be jealous on anybody. So when they bring that jealousy, our Tatan Zambe, our creator and defender, slam them to the ground, do a slam dunk on them. All right, my lovely. As usual, peace in your heart. All right? And home, be at peace. You don't owe anybody anything, but the contrary of it is true. So always be at peace. All right? Peace in your homes especially, and heart. Love in your heart. Never depart from love. Our people are of the light. You know, they're of the truth and light. They cannot come near you when you're dwelling in hatred and vengeance and all these things. Okay? We just have to learn our fathers' forefathers' shortcomings, and from there make the difference. Okay? Our sons out there, just like the previous video, I caution you, handle our daughters with care, because they are your throne. If you break them, tell me how comfortably you're going to sit in a throne with a missing leg. It's going to throw you to the ground and you will break your spine and it'll be over. So it's in your best interest to help us heal in the process. Don't take advantage of our shortcomings, because without us, you can never be a king. You'll be a wandering prince. Maybe not even a prince. You can't be royalty without us. You'll be a page, a messenger. You know, they will hire you to do their dirty jobs for a paycheck. We are of the earth element. We handle the tangibles. That's why if it's a house we build, it gotta be like a Titanic on land. If it's a car we build, it's gonna be something big. If it's jewelry we put on our neck, it's gonna be visible from a mile, because we're people of the tangibles, with the people of the pentacles, with the people of gold, platinum. All right. So I love you very much. Please share the broadcast. Okay. We walk in unity. When you come around the house of Nubia, the house of the African royal, always come in peace and love and unity, because we are one. I don't care what anybody says. That's what my father told me. That's what my mother told me. That's what my grandmother told me. We are one. Okay? So be at peace. Be at peace. All right. So I will end this live stream, and thank you for joining me this morning. Peace, love, and unity. And trust and believe our ancestors are walking with you. Everywhere you go, make a point to call on them. Okay? Always call on them. Never leave your house without gearing yourself up. My people, I'm heading out to the street. I need you to my front, my back, and my sides. Always activate the invisibility shield for me. Let those who have no business seeing me even see me. Okay? This is how you gear up. You go and come back. They work with you. They will work out your logistics. Do you understand? They will work out your logistics. They will take away, they will distract whomever they need to distract as you pass by, as you arrive. Trust in God, trust in our God, trust in our people. Okay? So peace, love, and unity. Until next time. This is your Queen, Queen Ngningone II. May the ancestral protection be upon you at all time. At all time, my people. We are loved, we are cherished. A lot of blood was shed over our heads. So we be around when this time comes, when this time Tatan Zambe said will come. So keep that in mind. All right? Peace, love, and unity. Bye for now. Okay.